And okay, so guys, I am recording this part. Okay. So open up the one that says semester 1 study guide. Okay, so it says, and I think this is accurate. The test goes along with what Mrs. Dirth and Mrs. Matizak all give. We give the same exam to the freshmen, okay? So they said there are 60 questions. They are multiple choice. Says there's no perfect way to study for this test. The best defense was to read the stories thoroughly and engage yourselves in discussion and work in class. Okay? So, you know, you might have to go back and review some things. We will do something like that. So this is already posted, and you can type in definitions and so forth and save it in your computer. So if we have extra time, you can review the stories, the vocabulary, the house on Mango Street, any other major ideas we focused on this semester. So we will do the vocabulary, part of the vocabulary from vocabtest.com. I think I just started you in 4. Is that right? Lesson 4? I think that's what I gave you because we did 1, 2, and 3, I'm pretty sure. I'll go back and make sure. We may do some exercises in those, or I may just tell you, hey, these are the words, the specific words you need to study. So we'll need to take a look at those. But what I wanted to focus on today are these words, okay? So we have the word remorse. What does remorse mean? And most of these have to do with stuff we did during House on Mango Street. Okay, what does remorse mean? Anybody? It means regret. Remorse is when you have regret about something, whether it's something that you've done. So usually something that you've done, you have remorse, okay? Regrets are very similar, but regrets can be regrets about things you never did, you wished you had done, okay? Remorse is usually focused on things that you did do that you wished you hadn't, okay, or that you feel badly about, all right? What is a sire? What does sire mean? It's your father. Your sire is your father. Okay? And then we have the word tenuous. Anybody know what tenuous means? Tenuous means it's iffy. It's a tentative is another word for it. That tenuous is like, well, we made tenuous plans, meaning that we may not do it, we might do it, okay? It goes back and forth. Tenuous can also mean that it's fragile, all right? So it's tentative or fragile, meaning it could change. What does the word valor mean? Everybody?
Glory.
Valor, yeah, it can mean glory, it can mean bravery, okay? If you have valor, you are brave. Bravery, glory, both of those words work very well. Then we have the word symbol. Yeah, something that represents something else, okay? Like, well, the sophomores have been reading Lord of the Flies, and one of the objects that has a powerful symbolic meaning in the Lord of the Flies is a conch shell. And it's symbolic of power and authority and civilization and rules, okay? That's all, in one conch shell, you have all of that symbolic meaning. That's what it represents to the boys, okay? But yes, it represents something else. The flag is one of our examples. It symbolizes freedom for most of us. That's what we see it as, or liberty, equality, maybe. All right, the word cower. If you cower, yes, you're cowering. Usually we have hear it used it with fear. We're cowering in fear, meaning we're kind of hunched down and like holding back, being trying to protect ourselves from something. Okay. So it's kind of a protective stance. It's often associated with fear, sometimes associated with cowardice. Okay. It depends on what you're cowering from. But it usually is a position that you take where it usually represents being hunched over and kind of stepping back and being protective of yourself. It can also mean that you are dominating someone else. They are cowering in your power, or you are being cowered by someone else, like they're dominating you. So it can be used that way also. What's a memento? It's like a souvenir or a token of something small that reminds you of something that you've done. Maybe you have, how many of you have traveled and you have a little souvenir from your travels? Okay. Yeah, and you can also call it a memento. All right. Or maybe you've got something, maybe if you're Catholic and you went through confirmation or your first communion. Anybody Catholic in here? You are. Okay. You went through first communion, right? Did you have first? Okay. No, you didn't have all of that. All right. Well, anybody that
I was told I was a devil when I was born. I'm
okay.
Catholic, but I'm supposed to be.
Okay, but you got. Hey, can you put your phone away, please?
Yes. My apologies.
Thank you. Well, I used that because I was thinking my brother-in-law is Catholic. I wasn't raised Catholic, but my brother-in-law is, and so they raised their daughters Catholic. And for their first communions and their christenings or baptisms when they were infants, you usually give gifts. It's a memento of that event. So mementos can be souvenirs of an event or souvenirs of a trip, things like that. Like I think my one niece, I got her, she wanted her own Bible. Or you might get them little jewelry like a necklace with a little cross on it, something like that. It would be a memento of that occasion, okay, or a souvenir of the occasion. What?
No.
Okay. Pillar. Yes, it's usually a straight structure. It can be rounded. Pillars holding up something. It can also, we use the term to say, like he's a pillar of the community, someone that people look to, that he holds the community together, or he's someone to look up to. Yes, yeah. And someone who seems to be well respected, okay? So pillar can have two different meanings. It can be an actual physical structure like a post, but it can also be used to represent a person. We describe a person that way, as a pillar of the community, okay? Someone that is well respected. Comadre. Well, it is. It means godmother. Okay. It actually means godmother. It was from the house on Mango Street. I think I may have misspelled it because I was like, wait, what does this mean? Because I was thinking that was what it meant. It's got madre, which means mother. Okay. But when I typed it, I may have typed it in Camadre, and it came up with bedpan. And I'm like, wait, that's not right. So, yeah. But no, it's Comadre, and it means godmother. Okay. And then our last word is inheritance. What's an inheritance? It could be money, it could be land, it could be a house, it could be a memento, okay? It could be anything that you get from previous generations, like your parents or your grandparents or something like that, okay? Anything you receive from something that's handed down. Sometimes inheritances aren't actually things. Sometimes your inheritance is a sense of responsibility or whatever lessons you've been taught, okay? But it's something that is passed down. I don't really want to go through plot and everything today. We can do that tomorrow. Is that okay? We do that tomorrow? Okay, so you have those terms down, right? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll go back to Troy, okay, and watch a little bit of that. Also, if you did not get your essays done, now would be a good time if you can do two things at once. If you can watch Troy and finish your essays, you could do that. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Yeah, there's some back in the